Almost everyone in American soccer agrees that USA soccer must eventually open. It must eventually get to a point where we have an actual FIFA mandated merit-based system with promotion and relegation. The main arguments seem to be over the timeline. Even those who staunchly oppose implementing an open system here in the near term essentially concede or admit that it's something we need to get to eventually. All they say is that we're not ready right now. We need X amount of years more of soccer history under our belt, or soccer experience, or certain. You need to get to a certain point with lower division clubs, something of that nature. It's just a different variation of the give it time line when it comes to implementing an open system in USA soccer. So even those that disagree with the vocal advocates for an open system ASAP do agree that we need to get there eventually. So when we realize that we're really all on the same team, and of course all of us deep down we care about American soccer, we are fans of our national team, our players, our clubs, our domestic club competition. We want to see America succeed in all facets of the game, and not just from a competition standpoint, but from a socioeconomic level as well. I don't think anyone disagrees that we want to see America become great in the global soccer scene and do great things from a sporting perspective, and for our people here in America and for people around the world. Soccer is more than just a game. It's a great game, but it also has an impact beyond just the pitch. So America essentially agrees that we need to get to a point where the system opens. Now, the question is, where exactly is that mysterious ready point for an open system in American soccer? So what I say is that we're ready right now, because step A in the process, step one, is a declaration from the USA Soccer Governing Federation that the system will open. Without that, there is no incentive for the entire ecosystem to prepare and build for life under an open system. It's as simple as that. The logic is pretty easy to follow, makes total sense. What is the point as a business, lower division club, or people, fans, players, coaches, staff in lower divisions? What's the point in investing tons of time into your business or club? And what's the point of pursuing excellence when there is no chance of a return on investment? Absolutely 0% chance of ROI. Well, I guess there is the slight chance of being absorbed into MLS, but of course that's if you have $200 million and MLS accepts you, which is the higher hurdle of the two. So no one's going to build, no one's going to mobilize. And the landscape we see in lower division American soccer, or soccer outside of MLS and its monopoly over Division One, is amazing. Despite the poison system, which kills incentive to such a high level, that kills 99% of incentive for people to build. Yet people are still doing it out of sheer love for the game, or perhaps they are envisioning that the USA soccer system will open in the next 5-10 years, which it very well could. So it's not a bad investment when it comes to that. But the fact that American soccer is still strong despite a system which has a collapse rate of an average of 10 clubs per year, massive instability when you compare that to open systems around the world. The fact that we are still not just existing but growing as a domestic soccer ecosystem is a testament to the gigantic potential here in American soccer, and we're only leveraging about 5% of that huge USA soccer potential when you break down the statistics and demographics of our soccer nation, our soccer players, number of clubs, the population, our infrastructure and wealth. Everything adds up to a nation that could be a world soccer superpower, but we just don't leverage it. So when we realize that we're just all on the same page, for the people of America, the people that want an open system in USA Soccer, since it is inevitable that we will get to an open system, what can we do? We need to speed up the process, speed up the inevitable. I think we will get to a point, no matter what, where we will end up with an open system. Whether that just takes a completely new generation of Americans to take over American soccer. So we're talking 20, 30 years from now, a new generation comes in, the old generation passes, and we wise up and we finally implement an open system in line with FIFA. It may take that, but I'm not content to wait around for that. I'm nearing 30 myself, so if I wait another 30 years, what's the point of that as far as me, from a selfish perspective? That's what I'm thinking. But I think for the good of America, the sooner we get to this open system point, the better. So what we can do as a American soccer public is keep adding to the volume of the conversation. As the conversation has grown the past few years, you've seen some amazing things happening in U.S. club soccer, manifesting in the physical ecosystem itself. So you've seen many new clubs being created in the lower divisions. That is awesome to see. You're seeing new supporters flocking to the open system. You are seeing MLS having to rush to expand and buy up lower division club competition. They're expanding faster than they've anticipated. And you're seeing, of course, presidential reform candidates for the U.S. soccer presidential role rise up. And fortunately, one didn't win this last round in 2018, but it's still a great sign that many reformers are rising up and looking for that role. And of course, we have two lawsuits going on, one in in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, international lawsuit, and then one in the U.S. courts, and potentially even more to come. So because we are making noise as individuals, as common folks, things are happening in the real world. The U.S. soccer landscape is quite literally changing because people are speaking up for equality and opportunity in American soccer. And quite simply, if you didn't speak up, if you shut your mouth, this stuff wouldn't happen. People wouldn't be forced to write articles about it. The U.S. soccer president or MLS Commissioner Don Garber wouldn't be facing barrages of questions on an open system or players or public figures. There would be no conversation about it at all, and we'd be stuck 20 years ago when this conversation barely existed in USA soccer sphere. So the progress we've made is simply amazing. It's just all about us as individuals, the general American soccer public, speeding up the process. And that's why it's important to keep folding others into the movement, because if America does indeed, well, we have 24 plus million soccer players, so you'd imagine that we have at least that number in soccer first individuals, fans, not counting soccer players, or counting soccer players. If we have that many, you'd think that most of them, since they do watch open system soccer around the world, they would agree that America needs to eventually get to a point of opening the USA soccer system and aligning with the rest of the world. But people don't quite realize how close we are to actually implementing it, or how ready we actually are as a nation when it comes to our demographics and national stats. So that's part of the volume process. Part of raising the volume on the conversation and speaking up is educating people on our potential, educating and informing that there is a movement going on, that we are closer to it than we think, that it's actually up to our USA Soccer Governing Federation, and it's not up to leagues or certain clubs or MLS. It's up to a federation, and we are one signature away from making this a reality. So the more we educate, the more we increase the volume, the closer we get to the eventual goal, which I think pretty much everyone agrees on for American soccer, that we need to one day get to a point where we align with the rest of the world and run soccer the normal way. There's, I'm sure, a few people who disagree and think U.S. sports or U.S. soccer needs to stay in the U.S. sport model, but that's probably 1% of the massive USA soccer demographic, so we don't need to cater to their needs. So keep speaking up, keep adding to the volume. It is your voice that matters in whatever way you can. The online medium gives you a great way to amplify your voice. Start a blog, write articles on Medium, create YouTube videos, protests at games with banners and signs. However you want to do it, go for it. We need your voice to add to the total volume and keep educating and informing the American soccer public around you as to what's going on. The topic of opening the USA soccer system is the number one topic in American soccer. Besides the normal national team general talk, which is always going to be number one, this is the highest or hottest issue in American soccer, whether people like it or not. And it's because we, the people, have chosen to speak up and unite our voice behind this cause. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out across social media and also subscribe right here to my channel. And I'll talk to you soon.